Taurus, this is your January 2022 soul story. This month, you're really nurturing a completely new relationship with yourself, and you're going to be able to embody something that you've been practicing for some time. This is Romy. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to give you some of the key astrological dates and break down some of these intuitive messages so you feel more equipped to navigate your way through the next few weeks. So we're opening up the energy of January Taurus with the Seven of Earth, the Seven of Pentacles, and it definitely is a month where you're going to be in some assessment. Now, we already have Venus, your ruler, still in retrograde right through to the 29th. We're also going to welcome Mercury shifting retrograde in Aquarius on the 14th before it shifts into Capricorn on the 25th through to the 3rd of February. Now, what this means is it's a month for you to really be discerning. We want to be questioning everything. We want to be looking at the validity of things based on our personal experience, what we've come to learn, what the wisdom and the journeying has really taught you. And this is so important because through addressing all of these options, doing the research, playing with ideas and possibilities and the experimentation of things, you're really going to come to some powerful new conclusions about how to address some of the continuing, I suppose, problems as you see them in your life, but coming at it from such a different place because you are really looking at how you are nurturing and nourishing this relationship with self from a much more enlightened standpoint. When you look at these things around your pathway and in your life that are not operating in the way that you would hope, you're really coming at it from this understanding of what can I learn from this and what am I willing, most importantly, to invest to help me to change it. And is there a way for me to actually enjoy that process? Because one of the things that I feel you're really changing up from January onwards, it's like you're setting a new tone to say, do you know what, I'm not going to allow to the same degree the triggers of lower vibrational energy affect my day-to-day mood. It's like I have you really protective of your energy, of your space, of your loved ones, of your environment, because you have seen firsthand the impact of allowing too much of that energy to really seep in. And this is a month that on the whole is going to feel quite restless in energy and unmanaged, untamed. That can really bring about levels of anxiety and stress. And I think you're very aware with that Seven of Earth that there's a need to foster a deeper sense of balance in your world. Your happiness is going to look and feel different to you this month because you're more committed than you've ever been before. So the goddess of earth comes in, and in this particular deck, this actually depicts the King of Pentacles. So I really like this for you. We have almost like two worlds colliding here, and there's this beautiful honeypot. So there's a sweetness in terms of bringing something together, something coming to fruition. And when we're talking about the energy of kings, we're really coming at it from a sense of mastery as well. Now we've got a new moon in Capricorn right at the beginning of the month on the 2nd, helping to kind of orientate your energy towards the new pathways that are coming in and the discipline that you want to put in place for yourself. Here what we're seeing is this beautiful abundant energy that's all around you. And even if you feel like you're not fully tapped into it yet, I think part of that Seven of Earth is about the assessment and what it is that you need to do, what you need to take care of in order to access this and to really embody this. But remember what I said, you are going to be giving yourself permission to embody the practice of things that you've learned in a much more committed way. And I think you're set to see the rewards and the results of that coming quite fast. Now, we have both Ceres, the asteroid goddess, and Uranus stationing direct in your sign this month. Ceres on the 14th and then Uranus on the 18th. What this really means is it's going to create some order for you in terms of some of the thoughts and the internal kind of questioning that's been going on. And these are things that have been very close to home, but also, the ways in which you are continuing to make these profound shifts and, the spiritual revolution, this breaking free, this need for freedom in your life. And against the backdrop of Venus, your natural ruler, kind of really inviting this do-over in terms of your value consciousness, your love relationships, your relationship with money, all of these things are kind of, they're on the table, if you like, in January. And the way that you're going to be observing them, the way that you're looking at them is totally going to change. And the reason that that is going to feel different to you is because you're much more aligned with some of the new frequency energetically that's coming in, okay? So it's like we're all still in transition, but the bridge that's sort of been built to enable you to kind of walk much more profoundly and deliberately into this new vibrational frequency is really going to start to deliver in terms of like the direct day-to-day changes that you see taking place in yourself. And I think that's going to be really positive. I feel like you're going to feel quite validated for some of the choices and decisions that you've made in the last few months. Now, don't get me wrong, we have a continued sense of almost the discomfort that comes with breaking through and breaking free, and that's really what the growth is about, and it's what to a certain degree your soul has been asking for and you've been seeking. Now the craftsman of fire connects into the energy of the Knight of Wands, and here we see you really focused actually on the ability to kind of hone your craft. So there's something really important to you in the month of January that you get right. Now whatever that is, whether that's something in terms of your own your self-care rituals, if it's about something going on in relationships where you're trying to improve, something that's happening in the work realm professionally for you, it doesn't matter what it is, but you are determined and you have that fire and you've got that spirit to say, I know what needs to be done and I'm just going to keep showing up. What I really like about this is that not only do you have the vision and the tenacity and the groundedness, and you're open to the kind of where there may still be disconnected energy or resistance showing up, but you're also just willing to prioritize and kind of invest in that process, okay? It's not a month where you're going to necessarily see lots of things manifesting, but you're certainly going to feel the shifts and changes on a much more personal, intimate level for you, and that's really important. And one of the things that I want to say, as we have so much of this emphasis continuing around relationships, remember 2022 is a 6 years, so it's really about how we're coming into harmony and balance with the self and also with those important connections in our life. But what I really want to say to you is, how can you experience the relationships in your life this month rather than constantly being in a place of like evaluation that kind of stops you from really having that sense of presence. Now the Ace of Air, this card has literally shown up, I think, in every single reading that I've done so far this month, and it's not a surprise, because what is it delivering? It's really that spiritual truth. And this harp is made up of bones. So we are literally getting to the bones of something. We are coming to the very clear, transparent understanding. And this is what's really interesting, because even though January as a month has all of the retrograde energies, which can absolutely bring that confusion, misunderstanding, things being misconstrued, there's almost like this overarching, clarifying, truthful energy that's emerging with the Ace that's undeniable. It's absolutely undeniable. So that's going to come in on a very personal level. It's going to come in your relationships. It's going to come in within the collective. And that's important, because then the song that we choose to sing from this point forth, the music that comes from the symphony of this truth, is the beginning of a much bigger change, a tidal wave that's going to be gaining momentum and moving all the way through the course of 2022. So I welcome the energy of this card. I think it's going to show up in an uncomfortable way, but in a very, very important way for each and every one of us. What comes from that for Taurus? Especially as we make our way towards the full moon in Cancer, that's going to come in on the 17th of the month, is a completely new relationship with hope. Yeah. Now, what do I mean by that? Sometimes, we can have that energy of sort of just shutting our eyes and kind of hoping for the best. We just kind of keep everything crossed. We don't really know. We feel like we're not really an active participant in what's unfolding. But this month, there's a shift in you. and it's like your eyes are wide open. And it's not just hoping for the best, it's setting a declaration, an intentional declaration to look for the best in things, to walk side by side with the stress, that's 8 of Swords here, but also to be the eagle so that you move up high from the chaos and you actually get a clear view that even though this mountain perhaps at times feels absolutely impassable, actually when you look at it from a totally new perspective, you can learn something new. And this is definitely an energy of January. We are going to be seeing things that we've never seen before. And so it's going to require this cultivation of a new relationship with hope. Yeah, this is going to completely make a difference. So where is the stress coming from? Well, it's coming from some of those truths because they are uncomfortable. You know, there's a discomfort to recognize perhaps I was wrong, or to see somebody else come into a sense of enlightenment or awakening, and for them to realize, you know, what's led to that point in time, or to kind of see where things are going to start to crumble and to break. But at the same time, you know, we're not here to be enablers for others. We're here to allow each and every individual an opportunity to walk their path in the way that they're supposed to. And like I said, that restlessness can really manifest very quickly into an energy of anxiety if we're not careful. So when these truths do surface and they're a little bit fractious, and there may be a requirement, 8 of Water, 8 of Cups, for you to actually move away, to withdraw your energy, to let something go. That's how you're going to preserve, you know, the sanctuary, the peace, the stability and the balance in your life. When you choose yourself, Taurus, it means that you're never in a place where you're waiting to be chosen. And I don't just mean that from a relationship perspective, but waiting to be chosen by society, by, you know, energies outside, by experiences that, you know, all of a sudden have to be the thing that gives you validation or assurance or permission. So when we see these baby turtles kind of moving towards the water, you know, there's that magnetic pull of the moon, yeah? And this is very Cancerian moon for me. So round about this kind of 17th, 18th. And of course, that's when yours is going to shift direct. So you are going to feel the energy of that quite strongly. But there's something pulling you at this point, Taurus, where you perhaps even can't explain it. You can't communicate it. It's going to be difficult if somebody said to you, like, why are you doing this? What is the thought process behind this? You know, it would almost be like, I don't know. It doesn't necessarily make sense. It's just something I feel I have to do. It's just something that I know is right for me. It's the direction I need to move towards. And so again, you might be sort of almost like having to go against the tide a little bit. And, you know, these beautiful baby turtles, they take, you know, this amazing journey, don't they? Knowing the dangers, knowing the fragility and vulnerability that they have energetically against the kind of crashing waves and everything that is in existence out in that big wide ocean. And yet they still move forward. And so there's a tremendous sense of courage and confidence and inner belief, but almost like this purpose-driven motive that you are nurturing through the course of January, that I actually feel is going to just gain more and more strength as you move throughout 2022. Now, your 3 of Swords, I love that all of these birds are taking off. Again, there's this feeling of journeying, okay? Now, of course, the 3 of Swords does indicate that there is a pain point here. And what I like is that we are almost embarking on the journey of it. So there's a healing journey that you're in the process of. And here's the thing, in retrograde energy, of course, we go back over things, don't we? But remember that when you're circling back around, as inevitably you may be revisiting through conversations in relationships and your life with yourself, considering what's going to unfold this year for you, what matters, what's important, you know, it's not an indication that you haven't healed or you haven't got it or you haven't been able to break the cycle. What it is you accessing a new level of understanding about your journey. about this soul journey. And in every soul journey, loss is inextricably weaved into our experience. We don't get to separate ourselves from the pain and the emotional kind of upheaval of situations. And with that Ace of Swords, Three of Swords, what I can say overwhelmingly is that the clarity is actually something that at some level you've been asking for. So if you've been asking those kind of silent questions on a subconscious level, there's been things permeating. January is a month that can deliver that for you, but I still feel you are meant to sit in the space of that before you decide to attach specific meaning to it. Because if you're not careful and you jump too quick to assign whatever it is that you think this means or what it represents for you, then you're more likely to jump into that energy of stress or feeling disempowered. And that's not really what the vibe is for you in January, Taurus, okay? Now, Mars is going to move into fellow Earth sign Capricorn on the 24th. So that, I feel, is going to also be really supportive for you to be able to kind of keep moving forward and to allow this process of showing up and doing the work in the areas of your life that matter and kind of really being your own hero. Now the Five of Cups here, again with the Three of Swords, there is a disappointment energy that comes in, but I feel for some of you it doesn't feel particularly new, right? So I think there's just, maybe it's more of an acceptance. Maybe it's something that's already been around you the last few months. And what happens in January is there's just that final kind of allowance on your part, because one of the things this month is going to do is really allow us to move out of that self-denial place. Yeah. What I need you to understand is that January is full of bridges. They're all over the place, Taurus. You're going to see them. I mean, maybe you'll start seeing them physically, but I mean metaphorically, okay? So it's like where you see, I don't know how I'm going to get from here to here. I don't know how it's possible to get over this, to move past this. Even if I do accept this, what does that mean for me? Well, as soon as you come into a place of alignment and balance within the self, yeah, then Spirit are able to show you what that next step looks like. And this is why I see you are literally transforming the relationship with the self, because even in your ability to deal with some of the more tricky aspects of what's playing out for you emotionally or, even physically in your world right now, you are still using the wisdom and embodying so much of the practice, and you're moving forward here. And you're also not alone. That we've got the three bears here, we've got the three cranes here as well. And so there's something about that energy of three, the beautiful sense of creation, of fertility, of communication and collaboration with those who have walked similar journeys, have walked in your shoes. And I think that's going to be really important. And the sharing of that's going to make a big difference to how you feel. Now, the other thing I want to remind you of is that, toward the end of December, Jupiter shifted into Pisces. This is a really beautiful transit for all of us to be working with, because it's really allowing our own gifts, our intuition to open up to beautiful new levels, our creativity, our artistry, our ability to kind of really imagine in our hopes and dreams, our inspiration, our meditation, like more amazing things than we've ever really been able to come into alignment with before, and pull them into this physical manifestation. So over the next few weeks, it's a wonderful time in any of the spiritual work that you're working with, and how that kind of weaves itself into your own pathway professionally and personally. And you've got Six of Wands here, this gorgeous success, this recognition. And I think sometimes, what we want most when we're in this healing journey, and particularly if we've gone through some pain to get to a point of that growth, is we want it to be recognized. We want to feel seen and to feel heard. And there's definitely something about that coming through for you. So, you are having those conversations, or you're receiving that energetic feedback through the course of January as well. And I think that's going to make a huge difference to actually helping you to make peace and find acceptance. But I love the Six of Wands for this energy of what you have to say, what you're creating, what you're working on, being given the nod that actually, yes, you can take it out there. And there's a beautiful sense of it being validated and successful, and really reflecting like the grit, if you like, of some of the journey that you've been on. It's very truthful. is what I'm going to say. And if you are considering, like, how far do I go, then this reading suggests to me that go all the way. You know, be as honest and lay it bare as you want to and you feel you can, because that's what's actually going to deliver the resonance and the success for you, because you feel true to yourself, true to your path. And again, that's going to be important in terms of some of the relationships and how that dynamic is changing and shifting for you through the course of January as well. Okay, we want you to be looking at all of the options here. Experiment and play with the possibility of things. You know, you do have this fire and this groundedness, and there's a beautiful abundant energy, and it's almost like the honey of this. It's going to pour and drench down the rest of your reading, giving this kind of ability to, no matter what is coming through and what you're dealing with, to actually be able to come at it from a place of honesty, acceptance, and finding the hope in it, because you're looking at it right in the eye. There's no shying away from anything, and I think that's going to be very strength giving for you this month, Taurus. So let's take a look and see how these oracle cards just want to reflect your reading. Okay, achievement, effort plus intention. Beautiful. I mean, I feel, again, the Six of Wands energy, and we did talk about the deliberate intention, especially with that Knight of Wands. And it only comes from you just being really honest with yourself. What matters? Why does it matter? You know, if I'm in a place where I'm allowing myself to experience my life, experience my relationships, you know, then I really know where to direct myself, where the growth is coming from, where the light is showing up. But that sense of achievement that you will feel as a result of the approach that you take, I think is going to really be deeply personal to you, and something that you're going to feel very proud of as we come towards the end of the month. When Venus shifts direct in Capricorn, and then, you know, Mercury direct early Feb, you know, you'll really start to see a lot of the healing and kind of coming back together, and the opportunity for those closer relationships to kind of get back on track with a renewed sense of understanding. It might not have been an easy journey, but certainly worth it if there's something that's meant to have any sense of permanence and longevity in your life. Okay, so your Astro card is debilitated, discomfort, and really I feel that this is just about the discomfort of breaking through and breaking free. It's the growth, that's what it's about. Is it easy? No. Is there anything about this time for any of us that's particularly easy? You know, it's your perception of it. But look, the staircases, even as sort of twisted and turning as they are still giving you growth. You're still ascending. You're still making progress. You're still elevating yourself. You're still lifting your vibration and your energy. And when you learn how to do it in the face of adversity and in the contrast, that spiritual backbone, that spiritual stamina, it stays with you. You know, and that's what gives you that kind of gritty truth that actually helps you to really sort of go deeper within yourself, within your journey, within the work that you do in the relationships that you're a part of. So your emotional intimacy is able to go to new depths. The honesty with the self is so important. Now, this deck is called the Blindspot. It really packs a punch. It's fantastic for doing shadow work. And I'm going to go ahead and pull you a sigil. We are going to cover off what the sigil represents in the extended reading, okay? So you have number 1. Interesting. And if you want to join me for the extended, we talk for another 20 minutes or so if you're new to the channel, and we will answer your personal question, which I'm about to pull some cards for, and also clarify the main reading as well as this sigil card. So I will invite you, Taurus, to just think about a question that might not have come up in the main reading. Let's take a look and see what wants to come through for that when we go a little bit deeper. Okay, now I'm just going to clarify this main reading. So I'm just going to begin with the energy of the Seven of Earth. Beautiful star coming through, of course, linking into Aquarius energy. Sun moves into Aquarius on the 19th. You have the Hermit, Virgo, coming through there. Another 8 of Swords showing up. Another 7 of Pentacles. Oh, nice. And another King of Pentacles. That's really strong messages like being echoed in the reading here. Also think there may be some work opportunities coming in for some of you in a perhaps a completely new direction. Magician. Ace of Pentacles. Yeah. Very similar, isn't it? That Eight of Pentacles, just the depiction of kind of creating, honing the craft there. Just, it's the mastery, honestly. It just feels like your self-mastery. Oh, another Six of Wands, beautiful. You can find all of the decks that I use in the description box underneath, guys, if that's of interest. Seven of Swords, Queen of Swords. It's an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, perhaps. Oh, another Ace of Swords. Got some water energy there, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Just pull a couple more here. All right, Taurus, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you find this valuable. Be sure to check back in as the month continues to unfold. Drop me a like and a comment if it resonates. It helps to support my work on the channel. And if you're joining me for the extended, thank you so much. You'll find a link for that in the description box underneath. And have a beautiful month of January. I look forward to connecting with you again real soon. You take care.